Hello guys, it's Janki. Welcome back to another video. This video is all about the Shadowhunter Chronicles. So, those of you who don't know about Shadowhunter Chronicles, it's basically a universe created by the author Cassandra Clare, which has many series within this universe. And Shadowhunter's World is very dear to me because it was the first urban fantasy I began reading, young adult urban fantasy. So, and it also was the beginning of my reading spree. So, yes, this can be labeled as a guide to Shadowhunter's World because it's quite vast. It becomes confusing how to read it because I myself researched so much before reading this so that I do not get spoiled for any book. So, in the Shadowhunter World, we have currently 4 series. The first is the Mortal Instruments series, the second is the Infernal Devices series, the third is the Dark Artifices series, and the fourth one, which is still going on, is the Last Hour series. And besides these, we have 4 novellas, which are the Tales of Shadowhunter Academy, Shadowhunter's Codex, the Ghost of Shadow Market, and the Bane Chronicles. And apart from these 2, we have one spin-off series, which is the Eldest Curse series, which has currently 2 books. So this was literally an information dump for all of you. So I'll tell you a little about all these series and then we'll see in which order can you read it if you are interested in reading it. So the first series we have with us is the Mortal Instrument series, which has 6 books in it. I'll go by order. City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, City of Heavenly Fire. So basically this is the first series in the Shadowhunters world, our introduction to this new world. So Shadowhunters are basically the people, the race who are duty bound to finish off the demons on Earth. So the Mortal Instrument series follows our main character Clary Frey, who one day goes to a club with her best friend and witnesses a murder. The strange part being she was the only one who was able to see the murder in a club full of people. And these people who were murdering the person were covered in strange tattoos and had strange weapons. Within few hours, Clary seems to have ventured into the world of these unique, different, strange people. These strange people were the Shadowhunters. And from there, we venture into the adventures of the Shadowhunter world. And then the second series in the Shadowhunters world is the Infernal Devices series, which has 3 books: Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. This basically is, or can be said, a prequel to the Mortal Instrument series because it is set in 1800s London. We follow our main character Tessa Gray, who on the request of her brother comes to London, and there she is picked up by these 2 sisters who supposedly were sent by her brother to pick her up. Turns out that she was actually kidnapped. And soon she finds out that there's something big at play, and she realizes that she has this ability of shape shifting which makes her unique. And we also see how Tessa ventures into the world of Shadowhunters and how they come to her rescue, and the story goes on. The third series is the Dark Artifices series, which has Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air in Darkness. So this series takes place after 5 years of the events of the Mortal Instrument series. We follow our 2 main characters, Emma Carstairs and Julian Blackthorn. So Emma Carstairs is this great warrior Shadowhunter, and she's hell-bent to find the murderer of her parents and avenge their deaths. On the other hand, we have Julian Blackthorn, who is her greatest friend and partner in crimes. But then we have this new crisis wherein the fairies start getting mysteriously killed. And the fairies sought the help of these shadow hunters to find out who is behind these murders. And these two things, the death of Emma's parents and this fairy murder things comes together, and we follow from there. And then we have our fourth and final series, which is still going on, named the Last Star series, which has 2 books in it, Chain of Iron and Chain of Gold. Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron. I've just read the first book. I am yet to read the second book, which just came out this year. And in the first book we follow our main character Cordelia Carstairs, who is a shadow hunter, and after her father is accused of a terrible crime, she and her family moves to London. But Cordelia's life is again blown apart when London undergoes a series of demon attacks that are very different from the demons that the shadow hunters have killed before. And Cordelia and her friends find themselves drawn into this mystery of these demons and finds a connection. And then the story follows. Those were the 4 main series that are in the Shadowhunters world. Apart from this, we have a spin-off series, the Eldest Curse series, which has 2 books come out by now. And the first one is the Red Scrolls of Magic, and the second one, which came out I guess last year, was the Lost Book of White. Yes. So this basically follows 2 characters from the Mortal Instruments series. And apart from all of these things, we also have 4 novellas, which are not a must read because I haven't read them, but it's all fine with it. If you want to read more about a particular character, these are for that. And we have 4 novellas. The Bane Chronicles, which is about Magnus Bane, a character from the Mortal Instruments. Actually, he's a character in all of the books, all of the series. Then we have the Tales from Shadowhunter Academy, which follows Simon Lewis, a character from the Mortal Instruments series. Then we have Ghosts of Shadow Market, which follows Jem Carstairs from the Infernal Devices series. And then lastly we have Shadowhunter Codex, which is not actually a book about any character, but basically what all the Shadowhunter world encompasses. All these series are interconnected to each other, although they are in different timelines, but I feel it's very essential not to get spoiled for any of the book. And the best way you can read this book and not get spoiled about what happens next is reading it in the publication order. So now bear with me, but I'm going to tell you the publication order in which you can read the books in the Shadowhunter world. City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, Clockwork Prince, City of Lost Souls, Clockwork Princess, City of Heavenly Fire, Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, Queen of Air and Darkness, The Red Scrolls of Magic, Chain of Gold, The Lost Book of White, Chain of Iron. So this is the safest way you can go into the Shadowhunters world. But I did not stick up to the publication order. I read it, in fact, series by series. So what I did was I read the Mortal Instruments series first, the Infernal Devices series first, and then the Dark Artifices series, and then the Eldest Curse series, and then the Last Star series. It worked for me because at the time that I was reading the Mortal Instruments series, the first installment in this world, I planned to continue only these books. Like after I finished the Mortal Instruments, I jumped onto the Infernal Devices, and then I jumped onto the Dark Artifices series. So at no point I thought that I didn't know this character or something that happened in the past I can't recall. So this way worked for me, and it may also work for you if you plan to read them all one after the other. The Shadowhunter world is a diverse world because we don't just have Shadowhunters here. In this world we have fairies, we have werewolves, we have vampires, and we have warlocks. So as I'm quite sure you know what fairies, werewolves and vampires are. And if you don't know about warlocks, warlocks are these immortal beings who have magic. All these books are so diverse, so full of adventure that at no point you feel that you're bored. And it's also a kind of guilty pleasure read for many, because the Mortal Instrument was, I guess, published back in 2012, and that was the time when young adult was emerging and growing to be a popular genre. If people read this book after reading adult fantasy series, they won't like it that much, but I'm telling you, Shadowhunter World has its own craze and its own charm. And since it was the first series and the first world that got me literally into reading fantasy more, and it's just amazing. So that was all about the Shadowhunters world. I hope this video helped you all, to all of those who want to venture into the Shadowhunter world, and thank you for watching. Until next time.